Hello, I'm Isaac Ostrom. Thanks for checking out another one of my videos. Enjoy. So it says apply with 3/4 rough textured roller or 3/16 by 1/4 inch V-notch trowel. So do we want to use a roller or do we want to use a trowel?
I'd rather trowel it on.
Okay.
It gives it a thicker, then you skim it out, it does a thicker application.
Okay, if using a trowel, spread the material with trowel held at 45-degree angle, then flatten the ridge. Yeah. Do we have any mesh tape?
Not the gray though.
Okay. So when we put the drain in, we're gonna use that mesh tape. So how many coats and what do we need to do here? After the first coat is dried, about 1 to hour and a half, check for voids or pinholes and fill with additional material. Then apply a second coat at right angles to the first. 2 coats should be applied at a rate of 80 square feet per gallon each coat. Okay, so these directions sound a little bit harder than like doing a sheet membrane. To apply a coat, then wait, and then. Okay, well let's get our drain in there. Okay.
Let's see here.
Yeah, it was a trip. One guy.
See a video on drills.
Yeah, do you need a
You need a rigid.
DeWalt?
Hey!
Yeah, you need something that works.
Mike, this little sucker's gonna
These doctors bring out the big gun.
No, it's gonna work.
Something under.
Yeah, pull that piece of wood out, that might be.
You know that DeWalt would have went through that in about half the time.
I bet.
Yeah, the first job Steve and I did together, he just started
Laughing
using
at
my
me.
drills because he's like, mine suck,
yeah,
man.
This ain't working.
Donkey nuts.
I got some new ones in there.
Oh, I have one, I just.
Yeah, those are the ones I gave you.
Yeah, thanks.
Milwaukee. Milwaukee.
Yeah, just the bit size is off. Pop my hand, we're no longer friends, Steve.
Yeah!
This is what I
We've
feel about
all
you.
caught the impact into the finger.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that frustrates you, but it's your own fault. Right there. The drain body.
I think so. I
Super
think.
easy.
This will help just because.
Kind of.
Look at my milk crate.
Do I have a nice V-notch in that crate right there?
I got one. We're good.
Easy to
Put
clean
some
up
gloves on.
with this
I
water.
want me to actually up
Right?
on.
It is, isn't it? Doesn't it clean up with water?
Just water,
It
huh?
will as soon as
That's
you get to it
nice.
fast. You gotta get to it fast.
It's a bonus.
It goes on. It starts pink and it dries red. Right?
So, depending on
You
the.
want something in here?
If you want.
Nah.
Well, I should.
So pretty.
Yeah, I know. Ooh.
So creamy.
Yeah, we put pink and
Oh,
orange
so
in
you
your
gotta
shower.
do the whole thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Just
we're
like
gonna
it's
see
water.
what.
So it has to be nice and thick in the
What's-
corners there.
What trowel are we using again, Steve?
We're using the V-notch 3/16 by 1/4 inch V-notch as per required by Redguard.
By Mr. Redguard.
By Mr. Custom Building Products.
And millimeters is different.
Oh, mil. I meant mil.
A mil is a thousandth of an inch.
That's
A millimeter.
It's quite a bit. Quite a bit different.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, a millimeter's metric. Yeah.
What'd it do?
You're only off by
30 millimeters is
Slowly off.
what? 30 millimeters is what? 3 centimeters. So
Yes,
yeah, a lot different.
It's a lot.
Now it says to knock down the ridges, right?
We have consistent application, and now we need to knock down the ridges to create our flat waterproof surface.
Okay. Knock them down. Oh, that looks nice.
once you start getting heavy in areas and thin in areas, it's not going to quite dry the right way.
Yeah, so getting it consistent is really important. If you get it too thick, we were just talking about it, if you get it too thick, it's like putting the lid on it and it won't dry. So you need to have enough of it, but not too much. So each coat has to have pretty precise amount. You can't just goop it on.
It won't come out, man. It
Texture gets all on my beard, it comes right out.
Yeah, not this. This stuff will not come out. I'm just trying to get over
So it seems like the corners look kind of hard to get consistent there.
Yeah, that's the key. It's just to have that.
You think a paintbrush would help for something like that?
I don't know.
No,
but it
because you
seems like
don't
that
want to
would
brush it out. You don't want to
Yeah.
put the
Doesn't seem like
imperfect-
that would be thick enough. I don't.
If you ain't as good with the trowel as Steve is,
Yeah.
I don't see it looking too
Well, this
good.
is first day for Steve with the trowels.
Yeah, Steve's never held
Nope,
a trowel
never
before.
had it.
What is this thing?
If I did, it'd be all.
You're using it with the wrong hand.
And I'm using it with the wrong hand too.
Yeah,
I'm
come on.
freaking. I've had one spot's bugging me.
So this is, man, just watching this looks like tedious. It looks like it's not as simple as it sounds of just applying it. I mean, if we're getting careful to get the right thickness, I mean, this takes some time, and
I'm gonna get my margin.
yeah, it just
This is your Home Depot fix.
this is your,
Basically, the way I'm seeing
I'd rather
it.
paint it 4 times and do that.
but
Your
you can't
application.
do that. Your applications have to be
certain thickness.
certain thicknesses.
This kind of.
That's why you double it up. Instead of 2 coats like this, do 4 or 5.
It says you can't do that.
Yeah, it's saying you have to
It
have
says 2 coats.
2 coats, and they're gonna try to get you on a warranty. If,
Well, we'll have to test it. We'll throw
Yep.
it to a test.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's what we're doing.
Pretty good for a first coat. So
No, as good as gonna get.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll come back in a couple hours and do a second. Okay, so it is now about 12:30 in the afternoon, lunchtime. But yeah, a lot of it you can see is still bright pink, which means it's wet. So if I need to do 2 coats, this is like an all-day. Okay, so now it's about 2 o'clock, and it's not extremely cold around here. It's maybe 55 degrees in my warehouse right now. There's some humidity. There's a storm coming through. The humidity's probably up a little bit, but it is still wet. So this is for 6 hours after we've applied it. It is still too wet to put a second coat on. I'm noticing some small cracking, little cracks. You can see it up here too. Little separations where straight here had thin set on it, but that shouldn't be any different than any other porous substrate, I'd imagine, if you're going to do it over a float, right? A mortar bed. Drywall's porous to a certain extent. Not as porous as thin set, but anyways, yeah, interesting. So keep you posted. Okay, so I'm putting the second coat on here. It is 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's still some light pink spots that aren't completely dry, but I think it's okay to put the second coat on. Again, what I'm really going to focus on is covering up those little, whatever that is, little shrinkage. Alright, so what we have here, I'm back on Monday. We built this on Friday, and our Redguard looks like crap. It cracked all over the place. and actually was able to peel it up in layers. It just kind of comes up. This model took extremely long for the first coat to set up, and even after 8 hours it was still pink in some areas, but I did my second coat anyways, and then I actually came back on Saturday and it was still pink, but none of these cracks had formed. And then when I came back in today, this is what it looked like. So I didn't even bother filling it up with water because you can actually see straight through these cracks. See right there? Obviously that's not going to hold water, so no point in water testing this. This is a fail, however we built it. Maybe you guys can tell me what we did wrong. Again, I don't have a whole lot of experience with REDGARD, but yeah, it definitely didn't do its job here. It took a long time to dry, and then when it did dry, this is 3 days later, it cracked. So our base here is thin set, which maybe the porosity of the thin set caused that cracking, but either way, don't need to fill it with water because it's no good. Okay, so you guys can help me out here because I don't have a whole lot of experience with REDGARD, other than we've used it to just lightly apply a roller over a surface. We haven't ever actually followed the instructions. So why everything cracked out like that is a mystery to me. Again, I don't have enough experience with it to give you an answer, but I reread all the directions, and you know, maybe we did it too thick. Here's a couple samples. Here's a 40 mil pan liner. Here's a sample of the REDGARD off the bottom. So this was 2 coats, and you can see they're about the same thickness. REDGARD might be a little thinner. This might be, you know, like 35 mils if this is 40 mils. So I don't know. I don't know if we applied it too thick or what, but it says here, so we have about a half a bucket left. If we apply it as IAPMO pan liner, meeting ANSI A118.1, it says 40 square feet per gallon. Our little mock-up is probably about 10 square feet, maybe a little more. And so there was already a quarter gone, so we pretty much applied it at the rate that it suggested, at 40 square feet per gallon. That's about the rate. And if using trowel, spread the material with the trowel held at 45-degree angle, which we did, then flatten the ridges, which we did. If using a roller, generously apply REDGARD to the surface and spread with the roller. So another thing that I know that people do wrong with REDGARD is they use a roller like a paintbrush, and actually the roller is just to spread it. The roller is not actually supposed to roll. It's supposed to be stationary, and you're supposed to spread the REDGARD or whatever crack membrane, whatever you're using. That's how it's supposed to be applied, because a roller just puts on way too thin of a film. That's why people, you know, if they're using this for general waterproofing, 55 square feet is all that this should cover. So it would take 2 of these for a shower minimum, and that's not even meeting the pan liner requirements, which is 40 square feet. So if you're going to put it as thick as it says for the pan liner, you would need 3 of these gallons to do a whole shower. So I want to make sure that everybody understands this. And again, I don't know. This is the first test we've done. So I'm really hoping to get some feedback from you guys to tell us what we did wrong and to help our viewers get better at what we do. So anyways, that's where I'm at. And just some side notes on my first experience with using this as a pan liner is the initial application, as you can see, took a couple hours. It was fairly messy. You know, it kind of splattered around. Steve was doing it and he ended up getting it on his clothes. And it's just kind of messy. It splatters. And then also you see in the video how long it took to get not only the first coat to dry, which took about 8 hours, and it was still pink. You know, and then I just finally went back there and coated a second coat on there while it was still pink. Maybe that's why it cracked. But it says right here, curing, this product is cured ready for application of tile when it turns solid red with no pink showing. So that's probably what we did wrong. Normally 1 to 1.5 hours. Depending on ambient conditions, drying can take up to 12 hours. So, I mean, for us it doesn't make sense. If we do a mortar bed, you got to do a mortar bed. You got to let that cure for 3 days. Then you got to come back. You got to put the first coat on, which takes, for us, it took 8 hours. At least. We should have waited the 12 that it said. Then we would have to put another coat, let that dry another 12 hours, and then we could water test. So you're talking minimum 5 days to waterproof a shower pan. Just, it doesn't work for us. That's why we like the sheet membranes like Curdy, because you can go in, we can float. We could actually put that membrane on right after we float. And then, 24 hours later, we're water testing and we're setting tile. So anyways, just side notes, and again, I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of comments. Please leave comments and try to be helpful with the comments so that we can all learn. So thanks again. Thanks for checking out my videos, and we'll see you on the next one.